getting back into it. We got, along with the NB subframe, for this being the part 2, we have the NB upper control arms. So that way they're a little bit beefier compared to the NA in regards to this bad boy right here. So actually, let me pull this over to the NA side and then we can compare, shall we? I'll have to show you fully when I get it out, but otherwise everything else is pretty much the same of it. The bushings and everything I'm gonna press out so I can put in the new ones, and then everything will be good to go because I need to throw on the NB knuckles as well. Those are also accommodating for the uppers, so that is the reason for that. I need to transfer these over, so that's gonna be my goal. These are new bearings. I mean, less than like 20,000 miles on them, so they're perfectly fine. The other ones I have seem like they're doing pretty well as well. So with these doing decent for the time being, yeah, we'll just reuse these, take these out, and get going on it. But yeah, I'm excited to finally get this thing moving. And the biggest piece is the radiator. We got that back. We got a whole bunch of other stuff over here, but we got the radiator back. So this is the part that I was talking about. You'll see that when I put it on. It'll make a lot more sense at that time, but yeah, let's get to it. So since these are out, we'll get started with knocking these out and then proceed from there. And just as before, we're gonna use this big boy and then they should just pop out on the other side hopefully and keep moving. There we go. Hopefully the wheel bearing is okay. Seems like it's still fine. Cool, get the other one. There we go. And then we'll likely put the new ones on. We'll put these on the car first and then we'll put the lug nuts through. That makes sense. That way they're just mounted, and then I can just put it on the back, pull it through, and then we'll be set. Now we're gonna move on to go ahead and pulling out the old, well not old, I guess the brand new bushings. So if anybody needs bushings for uppers, let me know. If you need stock ones, let me know. But yeah, we'll take those out, get the Zerk fittings that we have, and got an assortment. Got a nice little assortment box full of all kinds of sizes, so see what works best overall. Got my grease gun. Then we're just gonna fill up some AMSOIL fluid, put it in there, see how well it goes. And then we have all of our bushings that will, in our Dremel that we can use to shade down the bushings a little bit before we slide them in, and then we'll slide them in. But yeah, let's get the old bushings out, well, the new old bushings out, and then we'll get ready to throw these in there. All right, so if you don't have a press, this is probably one of the easiest, an easy way to do it. Essentially, you just need a ball joint remover, pretty easy, and an impact. So this, I just find it on Amazon, ball joint remover. Essentially, all you need to do, put this at its lowest setting, put this on top, essentially, or something that's big enough to sit on top. This one seems to be really tight, but it works, gets the job done. So slide this up, you will place this in there, and this side is the correct side to place in because it's got the little bulb on it. Place that within there. You'll slide this essentially on top, and then you'll use the back of this. It's going to be at an angle, so that way this can come out and go into the bucket. It applies pressure right here on this part of it, and then the impact will just keep driving it all the way up until it comes out and comes into this. So yeah, let's get to it. Much easier, much quicker. Thank you, Danny Cruz. Much appreciated for the complete installation, like the old forum days, putting this stuff together. So I'm just going to turn it into video format. So essentially, just going to drill some holes through each one of these. On the lower control arms, it's going to be a little different, but once we drill it, we'll tap it, put one of these in that fits in the hole that we like, and then For each one of these, we're basically going to drill, or not drill, but kind of clean up a little bit of an edge to make a channel. So that way any fluid we put in or grease we put in will go through the whole thing. And then that way it will prevent squeaks and all the noises. So we'll press it in the same way we pulled it out, but overall, that's about it. It's good. I mean, we don't need to really trim too much, which is nice, but yeah, one side essentially is Zerk fittings in it. So this is the left side, and we got a right side, we got a left side, looking good. All right, so finally got this thing assembled, barely, but it is a grease pumper, so that way I have this. This is the Zerk fitting. This is just kind of an example. When you squeeze it, this is what's gonna hit the back of the bushing and then hopefully make its way through. So the one I was originally going to go with was Amsoil, but that tube is too large, so it is what it is. I may end up cutting it down just a little bit to make it fit. We'll see, but yeah. All right, cool. So got our Dremel out, got a wireless one just off Amazon, make it easy. Way better than the other one. So we are basically going to have the SuperPro bushings, which come with the, I guess the piece that kind of just goes in the center. The installation grease, and then yeah, it actually gives you instructions too, and the washers for the end of it. So goal is we're going to use the Dremel, trim down one of these edges. That way whatever edge is going to be inserted in here, wherever the Zerk fitting is on the bottom, that's the part we're going to trim, and that way it slides in there and just kind of stays. But yeah, we'll do that for both sides, and then grease everything up, slide it in, and get to it. So let's use the Dremel and get this thing going. And then just a quick comparison between the old stuff, or I guess these are the new ones. Technically, these are pretty hard. Ends are pretty flimsy. Center's pretty hard. Outsides are also hard. So less flex, should give more direct feedback, and then yeah, we'll see how it feels. They make these in an offset too to give you, I guess, more camber, but I just went with the original. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get these thrown in there real quick and channeled up. All right, cool. Slid in by hand, pushed it through. It shouldn't move really at all because of the Zerk fitting itself. Holding it in place, and then if I fell that, it should basically overrun this small channel that I created, and then slowly just kind of push around until it starts pushing out. So now we can slide this in, but we don't really need to yet. Basically do the other side, do another one of these, and then we'll be set. So since it takes forever to do this and my fingers just get all greasy, I'm gonna put it on time lapse and just knock out this one real quick, and then we'll get to the other one. Now we can rinse and repeat on the other side.
Skyz, you're bad.
Finger in the hole.
He hasn't slept in probably 7
Get
days.
in there a little easier. It's looking lined up.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now that we got our uppers done, Zerk fitting up and whatnot, looking brand new, looking spiffy. Now we can move on to the lowers. I don't need any of this up top. It's all NA stuff. So I'm just gonna basically separate here, which I already loosened this bolt from before. Need to do the same thing on, oh, actually, that one's also loose too. So made my life easy. I'm just gonna blast these off real quick, and then we can start working on drilling, tapping, or actually press these out, drill tap. Then we can reassemble on the NB knuckles and go from there. So let's get to it. Nice. So we got everything separated. Now we have our lower control arm bushings for the front. And then, yeah, there's 2 in each. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's get to it. Now, yeah, so this is the rear. This is the front. Oh man, I had a brain fart. And then it gives you, which makes it super confusing. They name it very similar on the bags, but they're different sizes. So front, rear, these are even the different sizes. So that way you're aware if anybody else is doing the same kit that I'm doing. But yeah, the wording on it is just super confusing sometimes. So, but yeah, let's get into it. Let's knock it out. Okay, so we got both of them out for the driver and passenger side all the way through and through. Only one of them gave me a fight, really all the way through, but yeah, same thing as always. So now we got that out, we'll flip them over and then we'll drill the holes in it with our little drill. Use our tap that we used before. Oh, we have our holes drilled for each one. It's sitting in here. Now we just need to tap each one and then we can put our Zerk fittings in. So let's cut to that. Ta-da! So we have our Zerk fittings in each one. What a pain. What a pain. With these, really the best thing I can tell you is just make sure that when you drill the hole that you line up the hole straight wherever you're drilling it, because you're going to need to basically make a little bit of extra room for the top of this, depending on which ones you get. I would definitely recommend self-tappers. These are not self-tappers, so I had to tap and then make the hole and do everything I needed to do. But yeah, you get self-tappers, it makes it easier. That way you can just push it on, drill it into place, and then you're done. But yeah, these are done. So now we can get to lubing those up and throwing them on. Okay, so for the fronts or the lowers, technically, they are going to be a little bit harder to put these in up here. So if you have a vise, that way you can just slide them in and it'll slowly push it in there. I tried it by hand, it was just really, really difficult. So same thing I'm gonna do up here for this one. So I'll show you guys that, but yeah, then we're done with the front, officially. Okay, let's see if we can't get it done before my phone dies. So this side specifically doesn't matter, front or back necessarily. You just wanna line up your hole. Oh, let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so the challenge with this is just getting everything lined up. This is really gonna fight. So it's trying to line it up as it slowly pushes it in. One side's gonna go in, one side's gonna kind of push out. You're going to bend this whole arm up a little bit, and then kind of use your hands to push the bottom of this in and force it in, if that makes sense. You want the bottom to kind of be poking out. It's easier to pry it up. That way it'll suck it back in. And then, yeah, you just turn this tight the whole rest of the way, and there you go. And just like that, we got the rears done. So front's done, rear's done. Or sorry, the front's completely done. We still have to do the rears. So that'll be next episode. So like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.